Hi, it's Tanya from My Forking Life, and today we're in the kitchen and we are making Italian beef sandwiches. So delicious and so easy. And we're gonna make these sandwiches, or the meat for these sandwiches, in our electric pressure cooker because it cooks the meat a lot faster and we can have Italian beef sandwiches on a weeknight. Now, this is my version of Italian beef, which is going to use shredded beef, also with a delicious, delicious broth. Now, if you like these kind of videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Also, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like this video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I've got here one yellow onion that I'm going to gonna go ahead and give a nice chop. I'm gonna actually cut them into thin slices. Bada bing. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and get about 6 garlic cloves ready. I'm not gonna chop them or anything. I'm just going to peel them and smash them. Just get a little crack. Peel it off. Oof. And then just a nice little crush. And now that I've prepped these veggies, I'm gonna go ahead and put those aside into prep bowls just so that they are ready for when I am ready to use them. Now it's time to get ready for the main ingredient, my delicious rump roast. Now you can use the chuck shoulder part, but this is what I was able to find in the store, so either one will work. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut this into smaller pieces. The reason being is it cooks faster when it's in smaller chunks. I'm just gonna actually just cut it into like 4 large chunks. So I'm just gonna go 1 chunk. Probably turn this on the side. I'm gonna try to get rid of some of this extra fat, not all of it as well. So I've actually done 5 large chunks. Boom. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna season this beef with just a little bit of salt and pepper. No really much need to season it with anything else at this time because what's really important here is that broth. All right, I'm gonna just add a little bit. And now we're ready for our pressure cooker. So let me get that for you guys. So I've gone ahead and plugged in my pressure cooker, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use the saute function. Where are ya? And as you can see, my saute function already automatically goes to 30, and I'm gonna keep it on the more setting so that I can sear the meat first because I want to build up flavor. Okay, our display now says hot, so I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons, which is not even open. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to that pot. You wanna wait till it's hot before you add that. I'll let that sit for a few seconds. Just put that on that side. And I'm gonna let this cook for 3 minutes per side. And if I didn't mention it earlier, I've got 3 pounds of rump roast here that I've cut into large pieces. See if this will lift. If your meat is sticking, that means it hasn't browned enough, but there we go. All right, so the meat has been browned to my liking. Move everything over to a plate. It is not done yet, so do not eat that. I'm gonna just set that to the side. And if you look, you'll see like all that brown goodness. That's flavor. All right, so I'm gonna add just a little bit of beef broth, about 1/4 of a cup. Two to glaze it. And I've got here a wooden spoon that I'm gonna use to help get up those brown bits. And at this time, I'm gonna add my onions in as well. Pop those in. Just gonna pull that down. And I'm gonna saute these onions for about 5 minutes. Look how delicious that looks. That is flavor. So our onions have softened, and I'm gonna go ahead and add that smashed garlic. And I'm just gonna stir that for about a minute more just to get that nice and toasted. And now I'm gonna add the rest of that beef broth. And I'm gonna go ahead and press cancel on this part as well. Where we got? Cancel. Boom. And it looks like it's not a lot of liquid, which that's good because when we put everything in, it's gonna release even more liquid and give us more of that delicious sauce. So now we've got to season this. And I season this with just a couple of seasonings. I've got here some Italian seasoning. Gonna do about 2 teaspoons of that. Got some paprika. Hey, honey bun. Got 2 teaspoons of paprika. Gonna add a little bit of red pepper flakes. Not too much. And then about 3/4 of a teaspoon of whole fennel seeds. That looks flavorful already. All right, and then I'm gonna use these pepperoncinis. Pepperoncini. No, I said that wrong. Pepperoncini. All right, you know what I mean. But I'm gonna use these peppers in my Italian beef, and I'm gonna put about, put as many as you prefer as far as how spicy you like. How many do I have in here? I'm gonna try to might put the rest of this in here. But I don't want all the juice in there. I just really want the peppers and about 1/4 of a cup of the juice. Measure out about 1/4 of a cup. And what this is gonna provide is a nice acidity to this broth. And then I'm gonna add these pieces back to the pressure cooker. Just gonna lay them right on top. It's perfectly fine that the liquid isn't covering the beef. It's still going to cook beautifully. It's gonna shred beautifully. And since there is not gonna be any liquid evaporating, all this beef is gonna get cooked in this delicious broth. So, I'm gonna go ahead and add my cover now. Make sure the valve is set to sealing, not venting. So we're gonna cook this on high pressure for 52 minutes. Mommy. Yes, baby. Okay. Sorry. Your hair's not even done. But your hair is not done. Yeah. Wait. We're gonna cook this on high pressure for 52 minutes, and then we're gonna let it naturally release for about 20 minutes, and then we'll release all the remaining pressure. You're so silly. All right, so pressure cook. Press the more button, and that's it. And it's going to rise to pressure and then cook on high pressure for 52 minutes. I'll be back when it's all done. All right, I'm back. So our meat has pressure cooked for 52 minutes on high pressure. Then we allowed it to naturally release for about 25 minutes, a little bit more than 25 minutes. And I can just go ahead and cancel that. And I'm not gonna open it yet. I'm going to release any remaining pressure by moving that seal from venting to sealing. There's only like a little bit left, but you just wanna make sure you get all of the pressure out before you open this. All right, so our little button has popped down, which means all our pressure is out. I'm gonna go ahead and open it. Woo! I'm going to lay my meat on this baking sheet, and I'm going to shred it separately from this dipping sauce, or this sauce. Just lay those big chunks of meat on this. And we are going to easily just use that to shred it, and it's going to easily fall apart. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. Yes, Cora. Just give it a little bit of salt. Just don't need any pepper. All right, so now that I've got this meat that is beautifully shredded, I'm going to go ahead and kind of pay attention to this luscious broth that I got over here. Didn't mean to totally kick that out the way. But I'm gonna season this broth. I'm gonna taste it first to see if I want to add any additional salt and pepper at this time. Essentially, you don't want to add the salt and pepper before you pressure cook it because it's going to depend on the type of beef broth and whether it comes out too salty or not. That's really good. So that sauce is now perfect. You can add the sauce directly on top of the meat. I always just add just a little bit at least, but I try not to add too much of the sauce on the meat only because I also use this meat for other recipes where if I want to, let's say, put it on top of nachos, it's perfectly seasoned and the seasoning is mostly in the sauce, not too much in the meat. All right, so now it's time to build our sandwiches. So this is how I build my sandwich. I've got this big hoagie roll right here, and I'm going to get some of this meat that I've added some liquid to. Could probably shred it just a little bit better. And then what do I want on top of my sandwich? Now you could take some of the peppers from out of the sauce and put it on your sandwich. I usually don't do that. I usually opt for the mix-ix. So I've got here, it's a cherry hoagie spread. It's spicy because even though that's a little bit spicy, I like my sandwiches really spicy. So I add a little bit of this on the bread, a little bit of that. And you can see those peppers, nice and spicy. I absolutely should have added that to the bread at first. Or if you are feeling really courageous, you could totally just put that in the mixture as well, rather than those peppers. And then I've got here an Italian mix. Let me see if I can pronounce this right. Giardiniera. Don't ignore me, y'all. But you can find these in your grocery stores as well. And this is basically like really good veggies in a nice vinegary sauce. It's a good way to add some more acid to this. It's so good. And you could also add cheese if you are into having cheese on your sandwiches. I'm not. Right, so I'm almost done. And the last thing is my dipping sauce. This is how I remember eating Italian beef, was that I had a nice side of that dipping sauce. And this is a humongous sandwich, so I'm gonna go cut this in half. It's easier for me to grab. And there is my sandwich. All right, and then I'm going to dip it in my sauce. And I'm gonna take a nice big bite. Remember to have plenty of napkins nearby because this is a delicious yet really a little bit messy sandwich, but it's so good. All right, until the next video.